This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the first time it's ever happened. Chelsea v Tottenham Hotspur in Australia. It's the first time the derby has been taken out of England and to Australia, and it is August 1st, 2026 next year. On top of all that, tickets go live on Friday. When I say these will go quick, guys, they will go so quick. So make sure to get your tickets on Friday. We are so grateful for this opportunity to be able to speak to essentially a legend of the game, and that's all due to the fact that Chelsea versus Tottenham are coming out August 1st next year. It's 4 games as well. So basically, this is the schedule. Chelsea FC versus Western Sydney Wanderers. That's the Tuesday, 28th of July, Accor Stadium. Then it's Tottenham Hotspur versus Sydney FC, Wednesday, 29th of July, Allianz Stadium. And the match 3 is Chelsea FC versus Tottenham Hotspur, Saturday, 1st of August, Accor Stadium. And then match 4 is Chelsea FC Women versus A-League All-Stars Women, Wednesday, the 12th of August, Allianz Stadium. They also have open training, Hotspur, Friday, Tottenham Hotspur, Friday, 31 July, Allianz Stadium. Corporate events, the London Derby Lunch, Friday, 31 of July, Dalton House. Open training, Chelsea FC and A-League All-Stars Women, Tuesday, 11th August, Allianz Stadium. Corporate event, the All-Star Lunch, Tuesday, 11th August, Dalton House. And then open training, Chelsea FC to be determined. Like, guys, seriously, get your tickets Friday. This is an incredible chat. Also brought to you by Grumpy Coffee. Get to grumpycoffee.com.au. Get your coffee today. Beautiful coffee. You will not be disappointed. Had a record sale, guys. It was just the amount of people that have just sent me messages of how much they love the coffee. It's just been incredible. Thank you so much.
Just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. And look, I feel like a little kid again. And I've spoken a little bit before the show started in regards to why I feel like a little kid again. Because I got the great Jermain Defoe. How you going, brother?
How you doing, my man? You right?
Mate, I'm actually not right because it's so weird, man. So look, we're a very small fry to you over in England. But I've been very fortunate to interview some big sportsmen across the world or whatever, thanks to KO or Fox or whatever. But because I played soccer growing up, this is like so buzzy for me. What we call it soccer, obviously football.
Yeah.
And so, mate, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. Mate, firstly, I've got to I owe you a bit of money.
You owe me money?
I owe you money, bro.
Give it to me then.
Okay. I owe you $20 because unfortunately you can't watch your documentary in Australia. And I downloaded it illegally.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I
apologize for that.
I love the honesty.
Yeah, and so I hope take that money. I'm not a man that would steal from the great man himself. So just so you know, bro. Oh, there you go.
Love that.
First of all, how you liking Australia?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to come. If I'm being honest, I've got some Australian friends back home, and they always say to me, "Oh, you got to come. Yeah. Sydney, you got to go. Like, it's amazing. You'll love it." So obviously when I got the opportunity, got the call to come, I was delighted. Really looking forward to it. I've read, even though I've not been here long, met some amazing people, done some amazing stuff. And yeah, we definitely want to come back for sure.
Mate, you got to come back. I've actually been getting in my algorithm lately, the Australia effect, and it's like a lot of Englishmen or
so many
coming over and going, it changes you. So
and they don't go back, they stay here.
They stay here. Yeah. You know what? And look, it's good because it's more people we can pizzle after winning the Ashes. So it's great.
No, that's so much. That's just, oh my God.
Look, we get towed up by you in the football, so let me just take this
exactly.
one.
I'll let you have this one. Okay.
Mate, so the game, I will say, as I said, growing up, diehard soccer man or football man, so much so, man, like, every night I would go to bed and dream of scoring goals in the Premier League. Like, genuinely, That's what it was like. My brother went to England when he was 17, got scouted by Norwich, all that. I was supposed to follow him, all that stuff. So, for me right now, as I said, how buzzy this is and almost strange is just incredible. And just also a goal scorer like yourself, it's just absolutely incredible. And so I think of me and... You know what? I'll tell you something I've never told anyone, actually. So there's this bridge on the way from Gold Coast to Brisbane. Gold Coast is an hour from Brisbane, an hour south.
Yeah. And
there's a bridge and there's these lights in it that for some reason I just assume were London. I don't know. As a little 15, 14-year-old, like, in Australia, we don't have many like tunnels or whatever with those kind of lights. We don't really need them. It's all very open. And I would honestly, as a kid growing up, every time I'd go into that tunnel, because I'd drive from Gold Coast to Brisbane to the Queensland Raw to train.
Yeah.
I'd close my eyes and say I'm in London, and I wasn't allowed to open them until I got to the other end of the bridge.
Wow.
For some bizarre reason, now when I got scouted by the Brisbane Broncos, which is a rugby league club, it changed to I'm playing for the Broncos just for that self-motivation. But that's how much it meant to me.
Wow, that's amazing.
And what I find special is there's a lot of kids that play soccer in this country or football, and you guys coming over Tottenham versus Chelsea, they're probably going to have the same experience that I had growing up of just like connected to the game. Is that part of the reason why you guys are a part of this incredible match that's going to come up?
Yeah, and if you go back to that when you were younger, can you imagine how you would have felt knowing that, Tottenham are going to play Chelsea, because you watch it from afar and you wake up like early hours in the morning to watch the games and like, do you know what I mean? Because it means so much to you. And then all of a sudden, that fixture's coming here. Yeah. Because you talk about Tottenham and Chelsea, it's never been done before. A fixture outside the UK. So
crazy.
So the fact that, these fans and this generation of youngsters now have got an opportunity to see these players up and close, not in this game, but actually watch training, all this, honestly, it's just going to be, it's going to be so special.
It wouldn't have felt real to me, honestly. And in regards to rivalries, like my brother and I, close as anything, like, super, super close. The only time we would punch on was I'm a Man U guy, he was a Liverpool guy. So the only time we hated each other was when they were playing each other growing up.
Wow, and that game is...
Well, it's not. We haven't been going very well lately. I say we, like I still support them, but, times have changed.
You changed, yeah.
And so I could just imagine, a young boy or girl, because obviously the women are playing as well, which is incredible stuff. Yeah. Do you, I guess, why Australia? Do you know much about that in regards to why they chose Australia to come across, or is it just...
It's not the first time the club have been there.
Yep.
And obviously... we had an Australian manager that brought us silver after 41 years. And what a place to do it. I think when you look at the leagues, obviously the Premier League is the Premier League, biggest league in the world, and other countries you got to try and emulate that. Even over the years, you look at the great Mark Vidukas and Harry Kewell, some great players, and you talk about that sort of like this, the next generation, and you go back to the game, and these boys that are playing against, Chelsea and Tottenham, showcasing their skills against these two top clubs, English clubs and that. Because I can imagine that one day these players would love to play in the Premier League. And, and obviously it's been done before. So yeah, but and listen, like you mentioned before, and it was one of the first things I was told when I came here, like, even though like you talk about the rugby and the cricket, but a lot of kids here, they love football.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they love football and they play on the streets and stuff like that. So, that's why this whole event's just going to be amazing.
Well, I hate to make it about myself when I got someone like you on the podcast, but when I was with the Raw and AFL and NRL, they're the two big leagues here in Australia, and they wanted me to switch to their sport. A big reason was like, okay, my brother had come back from England, he got stretch fasciitis, so he couldn't go back to England, and the plan was to be with him and then we grow together. Okay, well, soccer's not that big in Australia, there's not really a pathway financially. Whereas the Broncos, there's more money, there's a pathway that's really clear. So you're right in regards to there's a lot of little kids that love it. Like I loved it so much so that half my mates couldn't even relate here in Australia. Like you play soccer, like we're all league. They just couldn't relate. Whereas something like this, it's almost like when we went to England, toured England for a little bit as under 15s, played Man United under 16s, Leeds United under 16s, Scotland side under 19s, and like that's held in the same esteem for me nearly as making my NRL debut, which is like the thing. That's how important it was for me. So I can only imagine the amount of kids that are going to connect so strongly to this moment.
Yeah, and that's why it's so special as well. And you're talking about, you wanting the football to grow like in this country, and maybe this will help it. The fact that having that sort of like seeing the fans' reaction. To the news that these clubs are coming here, and what it's going to be like in terms of the atmosphere and people coming out, because it's such a you get to see some of the best players in the world, two huge clubs, so hopefully going forward this will help the league improve, but I can imagine there's so much talent out there, out there just wanting to play football, and wanted to go on and be like the names I mentioned before. Yeah. So, there's so much talent always.
For sure. I remember when we went to and played Man United, like the touch and the feel for the game was like way better. But in regards to physicality and getting around the pitch and that, like we ended up beating them 2-1, but it was just because we were probably dirtier than them and more aggressive.
Yeah.
But like the physical talent is there, but the systems aren't there. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not that much different in people. It's just, are we in the proper systems like a Man U or a Tottenham or a Chelsea? Mate, speaking of Tottenham, Ange, the great man, was at the club, brought the club the first silverware in,
European trophy, like 41 years.
Yeah, for a long time. I guess thoughts on the whole situation?
Yeah, it is a long time. When you say it, it's just like, wow. But everyone's, it's like with sport.
Yeah.
People got different opinions. There's a lot of people that were like, he was unlucky, to be fair, because, he brought a trophy and not only did he bring a trophy, he said he was going to do it. It was funny when you watch some of the interviews and that, and like, you get journalists sort of like, not laughing at him, but sort of like that little smile as if to say, really, if you really believe, or you the fact that he came out and said, no, I'm going to, second season always win.
Yeah.
He's not lying. If you always do something, then you always do something. So, and then he did it. So yeah, it was amazing. And when you see the celebrations, and I think what it did for the community and what it did for the football club was amazing. Then for people to sort of like understand, because especially over here, people are like, well, if he did that, why did he sort of like get the sack? I think when you look at domestically the league table, for Tottenham fans and anyone involved in a football club, if you would have said probably at the beginning of the season that the club would finish like 17th, people would probably be like, nah, it can't happen because it's obviously Tottenham, it's a big club, it's unacceptable. But, I think there was a focus on winning the Europa League. Maybe the manager looked at it and thought like, you know what, I really think we can do it. Let's focus on that. But again, nothing surprises me because I think it's football, it's part and parcel. I think Ange ain't the only manager that's won a trophy and lost his job.
Yeah.
He's not the only manager and he won't be the last, to be honest. It's just the way the game's gone. It's just the way the game's gone. I think there's a demand and expectation at football clubs now, not only winning, but winning in a style. But yeah, that's just football now.
Yeah. Mate, speaking of winning, basically you were the goal scorer. Like your ability to just score goals. I'm just super interested to ask you, at training, you'd be more aware than anyone. There's guys that can ping him from anywhere. Like mate, he's pinging him this guy is just unstoppable. Then they get into the game.
And it's different.
It's so different.
Yeah.
It is so different.
Training players.
Yeah, it's like Maradona's out there right now.
Yeah. And you think, oh my God, can you just try and replicate that? Can you just do that, please? Can you do that tomorrow? Like the next day, one day you see them and train them.
Yeah.
On a Friday, they're unbelievable. And then maybe on a Saturday, it's just there. I don't know, sometimes it's the pressure. It's you get different characters. Can certain players handle that pressure? Whereas in training, there's no pressure, is there? You can express yourself and not scared to make mistakes, and you just do things. And maybe sometimes in games, too cautious, and you take the extra touch, and you're thinking too much. But that's what you train for. You train to perform on the Saturday or the Wednesday, whenever the game is. That's what you train for, to make sure you're ready to go physically, mentally.
What do you think it was about? Because you weren't just good at it. Like your ability to actually score the goals. Because I'm assuming in regards to training, you would be better than most, obviously. But there were guys that probably were close to you in training. But on the field, your ability just to use whatever was needed to get the touch to make the goal. What do you reckon that was?
I think it's just that focus. I think it was that focus from a really young age, from day one, really. I think it was the repetition, to practice every day. I was never one. I wasn't one of those players that used to rush off the training pitch.
Okay.
So I always used to, even from the youth team, I'd always stay behind with a goalkeeper and finish and practice and practice and practice, to the point where the youth team manager is telling me, "No, you need to stop. You're training tomorrow. You need to save your legs and all that sort of stuff." And for me, I was just like, what do you mean? I want to. Yeah. For me, the importance of practicing, because I thought, well, when I play, if I get chances, I want to score.
Yeah.
Of course, you miss some chances and that, but at the same time, more often than not, you'd like to think that, once you get the chance, then you can finish.
Yeah.
So I think because I did that from such a young age, so that by the time I started for Tottenham, I was so familiar with every situation that I was faced with, like in a game. So like I knew my finish. Anywhere around the box, I just knew. It was just instinctive. Because I just rehearsed it so many times.
You know, the timing and like, okay, there's a player, half a metre away. I don't have enough time for a touch.
Yeah.
I should take another touch.
I should take a touch, or the goalkeeper's going to bounce this way, so I'm going to ping it in the other corner.
Yeah.
or I need to open up my body, or I need to. So yeah, you just know, and a lot of it, you're not even thinking, you're just doing it. You're not even thinking. And sometimes you watch the goals back, and you're like, wow, I didn't even realize I did that, or I didn't realize like so. But I think that's down to the practice, though. To be honest, the importance of training.
Now, speaking of training, mate, what's your documentary? You know, obviously you've been compensated for that, mate. Now, look, it's AUD, so if I owe you a little bit more...
No, that's cool, bro. Yeah, that's cool.
The story about you used to take Ian Wright's boots, correct?
Yeah, West Ham, yeah.
At West Ham, and you would go and train with them for an hour or two, essentially no one was there, or at least he wasn't there to know.
Yeah.
You would clean them and
put them back on the peg. Yeah.
Walk us through that story. I thought that was just...
Now, what I'll do is, because the youth team, you get in earlier, West Ham, so what I used to do, I'd put the boots on and I'd go in the indoor hall and I'd start like pinging balls against the wall, because they had like a goal, you got the wall and there's like paint going in, we had the numbers, and I'll just go in the indoor hall and I'll just like hit the numbers. But I'd write his boots on, and obviously he didn't know. And then for about an hour, I'll do that. I'd have my breakfast early and I'll do that. And then obviously put them back on the peg, and then it'll come in and probably didn't have a clue. So probably told him years later, to be fair. But yeah, again, I think that's just the obsession, really. The obsession with goals and practicing. Because I remember I used to like have my lunch, and again, I'd go in the indoor hall with a ball and I'd just smash it in the goal. And then we probably had an afternoon session and that, but I was just like, you know, it's like when you're obsessed with stuff. That was me, just obsessed with football, scoring goals, you know, and that was it.
And I guess, you know, you spoke about the fact that, you know, your father and your mother split at 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
And also the fact that your father was known as a really good footballer.
Yeah.
So it's what's so interesting about your journey is that it seems at least very self-motivated. You know, like who was the person, do you think, that instilled? It's one thing to be like, oh, I love playing soccer.
Yeah.
But the next step to go, I'm going to apply myself to it as almost a job.
Yeah. Probably my mum, really. I think my mum was like, she was like a strong character. I felt like she probably had to be, because, you know, single parent was tough. Even though she had support, obviously, from my nan and granddad. Pregnant at 17, had me at 18. Still a child. To be pregnant at 17, it's crazy. And then having to sort of like take me football, obviously before my stepdad came into my life and my sister. So it was just me and my mum, lived in a block of flats, and then she would make the effort of gonna get me like a football, take me to the park, so I've got that space where I can just play football and stuff like that. Yeah, so she did that. She played her role. So she probably her, and then always she was always strict. You got to do this, or you got to do this, or like, do you know what I mean? The importance of sleeping well, and you got to eat the right things, and you got to train hard.
It's pretty incredible to know.
It was like I had like a manager. I had a gaffer at home. That's what it was like from a young age. Yeah, honestly, that's what it was like. And even like reflect, like after games, like I'm sitting in the back of the car and she's saying in the game, talking about what happened in the game, like you should have done this, or you could have done this better, or I don't know, you could have scored another one, or
Wow.
Yeah, so that sort of like constructive like criticism, that, because I had that from so young. So honestly, when I got to West Ham when I was 16, it was, I don't know, I just felt like I was ahead of the players in my year. And then by the time I signed for Tottenham in 2004, like I remember David Pleat saying that, talking about, I think he said about me and Robbie Fowler, he's never seen play like a forward finish with no backlift, just can hit it so quick.
Yeah, okay.
And it's only because I practiced from young, years before.
Yeah. It's such an important, like, that's a millisecond thing. You know what I mean? Like, it truly is a millisecond between pulling your leg back for a big drive or just getting it done kind of thing.
Or getting it done quick. Yeah. Without like the too much of the backlift, just like quick.
Oh, right. So, I mean, I just want to give props to your mum, like, to know, like, it's very obvious now to know. We've got the internet, and granted, I know the internet was about 98 or whatever, but like, it wasn't what it is today. Like, to know these things. Now it's like, of course, someone would know those things. They go on Google, they say, "What's the best, training method for this or that?" And they get it. Back then,
ChatGPT and that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Whereas back then, like, just to know, like, even the sleep thing.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching the documentary as well, where she talked about the right food.
Yeah,
that's just incredible.
Honestly, like, I had a manager. I had a gaffer at home. Like, I had mum, dad, manager. To the point where I remember when I was younger, and then like, she always just says to me, "You don't need to be out in the streets, just walking about, roaming the streets." Because what happens is when you do that, naturally, as a young kid, because I had a lot of energy.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You get into, I don't want to put you into an environment where you're under pressure and you start doing things like smoking and drinking, doing all the stuff that your friends do. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to understand that. She always used to say to me, "You got a gift." She always say, "You have to understand you got a gift, and you have to sort of like look after that and give yourself an opportunity to do something special."
Yeah.
And you don't want to look back one day and think, you know what? I wish I would have applied myself better. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. I remember there was days where I remember my bedroom was here, my mum room was there, and I remember I used to walk up to the room and I'd be like, I'm gonna ask my mum, I want to go out today with the boys. So I used to walk up to the room and I'd be like, nah. I'll turn back. I'll get to my bedroom and I'm like, what are you scared of? It's only your mum. Do you know what I mean? And I walk back to the room and I'd be like, nah. And then honestly, it was just, it was just that thing, because I knew what the answer would be. My mum says to me, like, why do you feel like you need to, what she done was, she used to say to me, who do you want to see? I want to see, no problem. Tell them to come to the house. Anyone can come to the house. My door's open to all your friends.
Wow.
I always used to have birthday parties, but as long as I can see what you're doing, I don't mind your people coming here. So she'll speak to like some of my friends' parents and that. Come here, have dinner, stay, do what you want. But I'm not allowing you to be out there when you're vulnerable and focus on football.
Far. I mean, that's just so impressive.
But even now, I'm 43, and then my mum will phone me, and I know by the tone if she's upset about something. And I'm thinking, oh my God, please, no. Yeah, it's like, honestly.
No matter how much you've achieved, all these caps for England, you play like Premier League. Nah.
Don't matter.
So good. Mate, now it's very rich of me to say this, but the name of the junior side, I couldn't understand it in the documentary. What's
Senrab.
Senrab.
Senrab, yeah.
Senrab. Senrab.
Yeah, Senrab.
Now, and I didn't fully grasp, so that, was he the gentleman that started it? The
guy with the dreads?
Yes.
Bertie. So there was a player called Leon Knight who had a career in the game. Probably should have done more if he spoke to him. Unbelievable player.
Yeah.
Because it was always me and Leon around East London.
Okay.
Scored a lot of goals, and we went to Lillishall together. The England School of Excellence for 2 years, got a scholarship. So
is that the school where you may or may not have got a girlfriend's dad to walk up?
Joe Cole, the great Joe Cole. Yeah, he's a girlfriend from school. Her dad picked her up, and obviously I knew that she was upstairs with Joe. And yeah, he just basically said to me, "Oh, do you know where she is?" I was like, "Do I know where she is? I'll take you upstairs." And then we just knocked on her door, and then he opened the door, sort of thing. And I was just laughing, because he's probably thinking, "Why would you do that? Why would you not just say, okay, I'm going to go up and get her? Why would you bring the dad to the room?" And yeah, so he always tells her. He told her, and when I watched the documentary, I didn't know.
Oh, really?
So I'm watching the documentary, and I see it, and honestly, I was laughing because it just brings back so many memories.
Yeah.
It was. I'll never forget that. But that was a special place, though.
Yeah.
For my development as well.
Yeah. Okay.
That was good.
But just back to the other player that you were neck and neck with, pretty much in regards to goal scoring in East London. Did you say at
Leon Knight? Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and the man with the dreads, did he start, or was it coach?
So that was his dad.
Oh, okay.
Bertie, that was his dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was the manager, and he was like, mate, he was like Alex Ferguson back then. We were so different. So back then, I don't know if it was the same here, like, at half, it's a culture in England where Sunday league. So at half time, you have oranges.
Yeah.
On a pitch, like they cut the oranges up, and you have oranges.
Yep.
Mate, we had bananas.
Oh,
so we were like, honestly, it was the maddest. Like, so we were like, it was like, we're Senrab, we're different to everyone else. We win all the trophies and that. We used to have we used to turn up in suits.
It's not under 19, under 9s or whatever, was it?
Yeah, under 9s. We had suits with the Senrab tie, like everything. It was proper.
Yeah, wow. I guess it does give you that base, I guess, for the discipline maybe, or thinking different.
Yeah, it sticks with you for the rest of your life. Yeah. Well, it should do anyway.
Well, much lower level, like by a bazillion miles. But even with soccer or football coming through, we weren't allowed to wear thongs. We had to wear shoes. Had to have a water bottle in it. We had to call our coach sir. All those little things.
So thongs are sliders, isn't it? Slippers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we had to protect our feet. But I don't know if it's still like that. I'm assuming not. But just little things like that, they do stick with you.
Yeah.
Mate, so you obviously... You went to West Ham, but before that you were with
Charlton.
What happened there? Because it was very, very quick.
Yeah, I had to go to like a tribunal.
Yeah.
And I was only like 16 at the time. I remember being at Lillishall, and the second year at Lillishall, you can pick like what club you're going to sign for. It's like YTS. And I remember that year, West Ham won the FA Youth Cup. Joe Cole, Michael Carrick, Izzy. And a lot of the boys that played for West Ham in the youth team that were a year older than me, I played with in my district.
Okay.
So all ran East End. And then like where I grew up was like, I don't know, 10 minutes on a bus to the West Ham ground. So I'm from the East End.
Yep.
That's my local team. Whereas Charlton is South East London through the Blackwood Tunnel. Like it was like an hour and a half drive from me.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And I knew that, obviously, with Harry Redknapp, Harry used to... So we played against West Ham. I was at Charlton. I think I was 15. And then we won. I scored a few goals. And then Harry said to one of the scouts, no disrespect in that, but because West Ham had obviously a reputation back then, the like, amazing youth team. Yeah. No disrespect, always produced players. No disrespect, but how did we lose to Charlton? Yeah. And then one of the guys basically said, oh, they got a young kid, like Jermain Defoe. Scored a few goals, blah, 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 blah. Harry was like, okay, then we'll go and get him, basically. And honestly, that was it. So when I decided to obviously... In my mind, I just thought I'm going to West Ham. I'm going to play football with my mates. It's local for my mum and my family to take me to training.
And you're 16 at this stage.
I was 16, yeah. And then I just got a phone call saying I need to go to a tribunal because it's an illegal approach. And I was like, what does that even mean? Yeah. Year out of school, and then they had to pay 1.6 million. Wow. Yeah. And then and it's quite funny because when I think about it now, I was like, well, that's a lot of pressure for like someone just leaves school. Like, yeah, I was good and the signs were there. But that's just potential. That's potential because even though you get a young kid and he's got all the potential, there's no guarantees.
Mate, you'd know
because it takes so much to actually get in the first team. Is like a sport, like 1% in a youth team will make like, and then I remember going to the tribunal and that sitting there like, wow, this is a bit mad. And then my first youth team game, perhaps taking pictures of me when I come off the pitch. Wow. I was in the papers, on the news and stuff. And I was just like, but for some reason, I don't know why. I didn't even think about it. I just play football. Just like, okay.
It's almost like that, I guess, naivety of youth, I guess.
Yeah, just like fearless. I was just fearless. And then I made my debut at 17, scored, and then I just didn't look back. Yeah, I was just like.
Now that goal, so it bounces back to you in the wet. You nail it in the corner after coming off the bench.
Yeah, that's mad. You remember?
I did my due diligence.
Yeah, that's but even like you think about like, yeah, that was my first goal for West Ham. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've watched the goals you've scored; they've been amazing. But I'm assuming that first goal.
Yeah, the first goal you can never forget the first one.
Yeah,
because the first one sets you on your way. Then.
Yeah.
Because even when because I scored a lot of goals in the youth team, and yeah, even sometimes even the youth team days. Sometimes I think about it and I was like, you wish you could just go back to that moment to like how I felt and stuff like that. Like because I was so fearless and because I was so obsessed and I practiced a lot and you're fresh. You got so much miles in the legs because you're just starting. And I was sharp and like I said, I always felt comfortable in front of goal and I was playing in a really good team. Because I remember Harry used to on a Saturday morning at Chadwell Heath, we play at 11 o'clock. The first team manager would watch the first half.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll be playing the game and I look over and I see Harry standing there.
Yeah.
So straight away, naturally, I'm just like, it's like being a show off. Yeah. Like, let me show this guy. And I see Harry standing there and I used to get this feeling inside me. It was like the biggest motivation ever. Yeah, wow. Right, I need to show this manager. So the point where then he would go to the first team game. And that's why he was so good, to be fair, because there's not a lot of managers that do that. Okay. Like, he would conjure every Saturday, every other Saturday when the team's at home, watch the game, speak to the parents and stuff. And even when I used to train with the first team and I used to finish in training, like he used to say to the first team players, that's how you finish.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so like I don't know if he knew he was doing it at the time, but yeah, I was just so confident.
Apologies, I've forgotten his name, but the battle you had with a guy that was established, I think it was at West Ham, where they kind of said, throw Jermain a bib, and he was like, yeah, sure, he's like 16, 17 years old or whatever. And then you got...
Oh, you're talking about Mark Bright at Charlton?
Yeah, that was a Charlton.
Yeah, because when that happened, I was 15.
Yeah, wow.
So I came back from, like a half term from school. I came back and I trained. I was doing shooting with the first team players at Charlton.
Yeah, okay.
Mark Bright, an established Premier League player. He said, it's competition. So me being this 15-year-old that's from the East End of London that had a bit about me, I was like, competition. I don't lose. If it's finishing, I'm not losing this.
Yeah.
I didn't think this is Mark Bright that's played in cup finals. I just thought, okay,
let's go.
There's a goalkeeper there, there's a ball, and then I'll back myself to do what I do. He said, if you win, I'll get you a pair of boots. So anyway, I started finishing, and then obviously I beat him, and then he, after training, he called Ian Wright, and he said, I've just seen this young kid,
No way.
And he said, it's like a clone of you. That's what he said to Wrighty. But I didn't know this until I watched the documentary that he phoned Wrighty.
No way.
Yeah. And it's all like makes sense now because when I signed for West Ham, obviously Ian Wright was the first person that was waiting for me when I got there because he was there towards the end of his career. But Wrighty, he phoned Wrighty because they were obviously friends from Crystal Palace.
Yep.
And so I've just seen this young kid finish and that he said like, yeah, you should look out for this kid. Yeah, honestly, but I didn't know he did that. Yeah.
That's far out.
But I just remember thinking, well, I need to beat him.
Yeah.
Buy me a pair of boots. Predators.
Yeah, you know what? They showed a picture of it. They showed a picture of it. The Predators with the grip on the front there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get to West Ham. The first year, incredible. Just like goal after goal, everything's going great. Second year, coach has some sickness. You guys struggle.
Yeah.
Then you get demoted. Yeah. And look, I won't even preface this. You tell me through what happened in regards to getting demoted. And then
you know when someone says, "Oh, you're too good to go down." Yeah, nah. I think a lot of stuff happened when the manager Glenn Roeder got ill, and I think it affected the group. To be fair, even though we weren't great that season, I mean, we had like Joe Cole, Michael Carrick, Paolo Di Canio, Trevor Sinclair, Freddie Canute, Les Ferdinand came, Lee Bowie.
Wow,
we had top players.
Yeah,
and well, when you look at the squad, it's a team that could like you look at that team, it's like top half of the table, top six.
Yeah,
like, but we started so slow and we weren't getting results and weren't playing well. And then Trevor Brooking took over. And it's funny, when Trevor Brooking took over, the last 6 or 7 games, I think we won.
Yeah.
But it was us and Bolton.
Okay.
And we just felt like we left it too late. We were chasing. But it was tough. Because we were young. Like even Joe Cole, Mark Carrick, they were like a year or 2 older than me.
Yeah. And you would have been like 18 maybe?
Yeah. So, but we were young, I think 19. And then, we got relegated. And then after that, obviously,
the transfer.
The next January I signed for Tottenham. Yeah.
And so in the documentary, you said, I regret it. I had a young manager, and he
transfer request.
Basically said you need to be first to go in because if you're not the first, then obviously value goes down or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And this is why I will say to not players, probably parents, to don't be afraid to ask questions and not only that as well, just be careful because I remember at the time the agent saying to me, you need to go in, hand in his transfer requests because you need to get in, you need to play for England, blah 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 blah. You need to be one of the first ones to get out the door. And me and my family obviously being naive because obviously I didn't know what like a transfer. Obviously, I know you're asking the club to leave.
Yeah, but
I didn't really like. I never. Yeah, exactly. I never have conversations about transfer requests. Yep. You're just young. You're playing football. This is a club that gave me an opportunity from a young age and that. And then obviously when I did that, looking back after, I was just like, why did this agent say to me? And the funny is, I went on my own. It's not like he came with me. He gave me the letter and I went on my own.
Wow.
And then since then, this guy's never come out and spoke about it.
Wow. This
person never come out and spoke about it. So. As you get older, sometimes you think, I've come out so many times and I've told that story. But it's funny how, this person, like, this agent, like, he's never come out and spoke.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, he's never come out and said, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I advised him at the time.
Yeah.
Because as for my mum and my parents, my stepdad, it's like, okay, we trust you.
Of course, yeah.
We trust that you got my son's best interest at heart and, you're not going to tell him to do something that you won't do yourself or you won't tell your son to do.
And so he made you take the paper in.
Yeah, I went on my own. Can you imagine what that felt like? When you walk into the headmaster's office at school, but you're in trouble.
Yeah,
it was worse than that. Because I thought I'm a young person at West Ham, sort of like on my journey. I'm going into the boardroom to hand in a transfer request, give like. So do you know what I mean? It was quite daunting, to be honest. And then like I said, it was different if the agent would have come with me or had the conversation or why can't you have the conversation with the club in terms of my future? Like if someone comes in for him, then are you going to let him go? Like, but no, nothing. It was just like wrote a letter, so destructive. Wrote a letter, like you go in and hand it in, and
it's really something that like we have a similar issue in rugby league where young players almost feel like they work for the manager instead of realising, mate, he works for you, not the other way around.
Yeah, an agent. Yeah. No, he works for you. Yeah.
Yeah, you pay his way.
Yeah, you pay. Yeah, he works for you, and an agent should understand that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, But sometimes I don't know. Listen, there are agents out there that are really good. They do their job well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And they look after the players, and they love the players and the family and stuff like that. But then I think it's just a way of life, isn't it? It's just life. Sometimes you get people that just maybe they just think about themselves.
Now you end up at Tottenham there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Now something you probably might be aware of, might not be aware of. I think you've scored in your debut for every club you've debuted for.
Yeah, all the debuts. Yeah.
Like every single debut, like that is insane. Bro. Like that is actually. I don't know if any other player has any other player done that. Scored in every like they've been at, let's say 5 or.
But you know what? You know what though? It became like when I did it a couple of times, West Ham and then Tottenham, and then after a while, people just expected it.
Yeah, okay.
And I remember when if I joined a new team, even towards the end of my career, when I signed for Toronto, and I was sort of like experienced, and you don't sort of like you can handle the pressure. I remember even then, like people talking about it, and I thought, surely they're gonna, he scores on every debut, so what if I don't score today? What, you're gonna take it personal? Do you know what I mean? So I remember going into that game thinking, oh my God, I have to score. So I think because then what happened was the level of focus was just like on another level. I was just like, nah. Like, because I always say to myself, like when you play, I'm gonna get a chance in the game, whether that's the first minute or the last. I'm gonna get a chance, and then once you get it, you just got to make the most of the chance that you get.
Okay. Now, at this stage, so you go to Tottenham, you're having a great year. Now, did you actually? You know what? Having a great year. Tell us if it's okay. Could you tell us a story about you're driving in your car and you see a bunch of kids just having a kick? Yeah. Walk us through that one.
I was in Chingford. Yep. I was in a black Range Rover. I was with my pal, my mate, and I remember just driving, and I don't know if it was that summertime pre-season or anyway. I remember driving, and I remember just stopping the car. And my mate goes, "What are you doing?" I said, I fancy just like a kick around, because it just brings you back to when you're a kid.
Yeah, for sure.
But then I know they're gonna see me and be like, oh. So anyway, I jumped out of the car and they stopped playing. Like, do you know what I mean? And they were like, "Oh my God!" And then I remember just joining in. And even when I was joining in, I was just like taking it easy. And I said, no, guys, come on, just play. Yeah. I mean, just play. And then obviously played there. And then I remember years later, I'm in Tottenham, and this young kid, Harry Kane, comes up to me and we're speaking. Harry's in a youth team at the time. And he said to me, oh, Jay, do you remember that time when you stopped in a car, like in Chingford? I was like, yeah. I was thinking, someone's obviously told him. Like, how'd you know this? He goes, I was one of those kids that were playing in the cage. I was like, you're joking.
No way.
I was like, you're joking. It was like
two greats. Like,
I was like, you're joking. It's like, honestly, I was one of those kids, and that's why. And then Harry after always says like he used to watch my finishing and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's why sometimes players like what it means to these young kids and connecting with people in the community and doing these things and that, like you just don't know where it could take them. Amazing.
But like, two greats. Like, it's not even like, two just EPL players or whatever. Like, not just, but you know what I'm saying? You've got levels within levels kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just mind-blowing, bro. And I guess
the story's crazy.
It's just crazy. And I guess it all does kind of link back to Chelsea and Tottenham coming out to Australia. Like, who is that little kid in the crowd? Who is the guy that saw Chelsea versus Tottenham and said, you know what, I'm going all in here.
Yeah, and then 10, 15 years time, sitting here saying, oh yeah, I was at the game. Or I went to the training session and I watched this or I watched that player, and you know what I mean? I watched like the Basumas or like Kudos and Kulusevski, Madison, or Calcedo and Cole Palmer, all these sort of players. I watched them and look, I'm here now.
Incredible! It's just an incredible story. Blew my mind when I watched it. So 2004, you get selected for England, and obviously, walk us through the fact of debuting for England. Incredible, but then also just when, you're a young kid that's worked so hard from, I won't say nothing, but humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And then the worst part of humanity comes in and tries to chop you down. Yeah. Walk us through all that.
Oh, you talk about like when I made my first start for England against Poland.
Yeah, so you made your start, played really well for England. Yeah. And then I think the next day, you scored the next day in the papers. Yeah, this is what I mean. And in England, it's a big thing for athletes where, you're a target. Well, certain people are targets. And then I remember making my debut and I scored, and it should have been about, obviously, my goal, which they did. Obviously, they're going to like put it in the papers about my goal and all that sort of stuff and that. But then after that, the press then,
instead of probably trying to keep pushing me, it was like, okay, let's go after his dad. Let's go and see what his dad's up to. Let's go and see where his dad lives, or let's go and do an interview. And I remember just thinking, how'd you go from me doing this, where as English people, you should be pushing me and embracing and all that sort of stuff and like helping me, to trying to create this narrative or create this negative around me. Like, I just didn't understand it at the time. And yeah, that weren't the only thing. And obviously I wasn't the only player that's been through that. There's players that's going through it now. But I remember them doing it and I just thought, nah, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. I know everyone's doing their jobs and they've got families to feed that, but I just don't know if I could do that. If someone's doing well, you'd want to push them and make them feel special and stuff like that. And then like, you've gone from there to like opening the papers. 1 minute, you scored your first England goal in such a important game, World Cup qualifier, your first start, and then that happens.
And what stings me, obviously I'm not English, but being Australian, and I think about someone representing our nation. They're representing us, doing something great for us.
I don't understand it.
Wearing our colours, making our country great, and then someone wants to bring him down on it, probably on a average wage that was that's
never played before.
Yeah, never played before. But also, like, I reckon if you went back to ask the person that made that call, was it worth your integrity for the rest of your life? You got to live with that forever.
Yeah.
Did you get paid enough for it? Because I don't reckon you did.
100%. That's like, if you a lot of white calls, you wish you could sit down with a person and be like, okay, when you wrote, like, what was you even thinking?
Yeah.
Like, why would you even, like, I know you're doing the job, but then as a human being, would you not want to just pass that on to someone else? No, you do that. I'm not going to do that.
Crazy, bro.
And then hopefully the next person says, I don't want to do that. And then, but yeah, for whatever reason, they decide to write that piece and that, and it's just like, why? I just couldn't understand it. Like, where's that come from? And why now? All of a sudden, what did you wait for me to
do well for the country
to get to the level? Yeah, there, and then to knock you down, like.
Walk us through the positive though. The scoring, I'm pretty sure if I recall correctly, in your group stages, you were struggling to score goals against teams that you definitely should have been scoring goals on, in my opinion. Then they bring you in for your debut and you do exactly what, it's almost like you were born to do it. Walk us through the game, walk us through how it all happened.
Was it Austria, the first game? It was 2-2, I think. And it was Poland, in Poland. And when you play the double headers, I just remember thinking, we need to win this. Like, you come away with England, 2 games, not one. It's just like the press they were on the team from the first game.
I think it was 2-2, 0-0, and then
obviously and then no, but that's the World Cup.
Oh, apologies.
That was the World Cup in South Africa.
Yeah, apologies.
Yeah, because before then, my first England start was against Poland away, and I scored with 1-3-1. But obviously, fast forward in the South Africa one where the USA 1-1, Algeria 0-0, and then Slovenia. I felt like I was just thrown in the deep end. Even I came on the 2 other games, but I was just ready to start. But I think it was Rooney and Heskey.
Yeah.
And then Fabio Capello put me in. And then, lucky enough, obviously, I scored the goal. And then obviously we progressed and played Germany in the next game. But I just felt like, the big moments, when you had to, you just have to step up. You just have to be that match winner.
Do you, I guess at the time you're probably not reflecting on it, but as you're from East London, young kid, almost like you're born to do it, obviously with a bunch of hard work on top of it too.
Yeah.
But to have that moment for your nation, like, what does it feel like?
Yeah, man, that was just like, honestly, you can't even describe it. That was just like, because when you see all the celebrations back home and like, you just think to yourself, wow, if you don't win that, you're sort of like, you're out. So it was, honestly, it was just like, it was the best feeling because it's something that you dream of as a kid, to even be at a World Cup. A lot of players go to World Cups, don't play, but the fact they're in that environment, no one can sort of like take that away from you. I've gone to a World Cup, I've played in that, but to go there and then, to play in that game when we needed to win and to be the one that, scored the goal to win.
Could you walk us through the goal? How it all kind of...
I remember, and it's funny when you go back to like, before when I spoke about like the importance of practice. I remember on a training pitch when I was younger, I'd done finishing with Ian Wright and he used to hold my shirt and he used to tell me about the timing of my movement and stuff like that. And I remember the ball going wide to James Milner. And I remember the defender sort of like just being in front of me, but I could see his number. And then if I could see the defender's number when the ball's wide, I always felt like he's in trouble then because if I run across him, the near post, it's difficult to mark. Like, it's difficult to to defend that. If you do it with an intensity, so what I done was I tried to get him on his back foot by sort of like coming this way. So he probably thought, he's just gonna, I don't know, maybe go to the back post. So I was getting him on his back foot, and then it's just like there's just the timing. And then as soon as James Milner put his head down to cross it, and then I sort of like just quickly darted across the near post, and when it come, and the volley, and then when I scored after I watched it back, I was like, oh my God, that's mad. I remember practicing that when I was 16, 17.
No way.
On a training pitch.
So you're feinting the defender to be almost
to get him on his back
backwards
foot and then go bang
and then
across him. Because if he's going backwards, so he can't react as quick as me because he doesn't know when I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, he can react, but then that split second at the top level makes the difference. Yeah,
absolutely.
Then when I scored, and even now when I think about it, it's like, wow, I practiced that from young for that World Cup moment.
Far out. And just the knowing, almost mind games with the defender. Like, okay, I'm going this way, everything's fine,
everything's fine, and then bang.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Far out. Mate, in regards to Tottenham stuff, we don't have that much time. So, you had a coach and you got, they told you so. They said that you can, if you want to sign with someone else, you can. And that's when you went under Harry Redknapp, and then he signed with Tottenham. Yeah,
and I went back.
And you went back. And he said to you, when it all happened, you said you were just waiting for the phone call.
Yeah. When Harry, I went to Portsmouth with Harry, unbelievable team there, by the way. And then Harry got the Tottenham job. One day Ramos got sacked. Then
he got you from Tottenham too, which is because you had Juventus, I think it was.
Juve was interested at the time, but when Harry phoned me, obviously, I promised Harry, of course I'm coming back. And then Daniel Levy, they were trying to get the deal done with Portsmouth. And I remember being in my house for about 6 days, just sitting there waiting. And that's when I got the call from an agent about Juve. But I remember just like sitting there thinking, oh my God, like, I'm just so excited because the club dentist, he called me, Peter, just before, because there was a little bit of speculation about me coming back. So what happened? I remember I think the boy they played against, I don't know, a game at home, and the Spurs fans were singing my name.
And you were not playing for them at the time?
No, I was at Portsmouth. And then Peter, he put his phone up like, and he was like, listen to this. And I was like, this is crazy.
No way.
Honestly, I was like, even though I had a special relationship with the fans and that, but I was like, I play for like a different team.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking, oh my God. And then honestly, I just said to Harry, yeah, of course. Like, but I was waiting for the phone call. As soon as he got the job, I was like, I was in a hotel and he just come up, went train, and then it was like, Harry's gone to Tottenham. I was like, what? At the time, made sense. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a huge club. Yeah, but he got me there. Well, signed me everywhere. So I was just waiting, just picking up my phone, thinking, and then he phoned me. He said, "Oh yeah, you're gonna like." I spoke to Daniel. We're gonna bring you back. I need you to come back and score goals and stuff. I was like, yeah, of course. I'll never forget that day when I walked out White Hart Lane. I had this, the gangster hats. I had my scarf on. Yeah, and I remember I was in a Viano. I remember going to like White Hart Lane, and if you'd have seen me, you probably thought he's never been there before. I was so excited. And then I walked onto the pitch and that noise, like, honestly, it's the best thing ever. Yeah. And I just couldn't wait. And then my first game back at home was against Portsmouth.
No way.
And then do you know what? There's certain goals. And I remember when I scored that goal, I remember I smashed it through Sol Campbell's legs into the corner, past David James. And I'm trying to, and I felt like, I don't know, it felt like someone gave me like about 6 Red Bulls, 5 double espressos. Honestly, the rush through my body was just like insane.
Wow.
Yeah, it was unbelievable because the
fans.
Think
it was the closest thing to ecstasy you'd feel?
Yeah. Because the Portsmouth fans were giving me stick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I remember thinking, whatever happens, I have to score in this game. To the point where even if the game finishes, I'll just say to the boys, just stay on the pitch so I could just score. I had to score in that game. I just had to. Yeah. And I think it finished 1-1 and that, but yeah, it was. And then I just felt like, like I've sort of like arrived again, sort of thing. Okay. Yeah, and I can imagine it was special for the fans as well to see me back in a Tottenham shirt scoring goals again. Yeah. And my second spell was probably even better than my first.
Yeah, and that was about 140 games. I think that you played or whatever. Obviously, a bunch of goals. Is it 300?
Yeah, over 300 games. Yeah.
And in regards to goals, sorry, I've got it here, but it's
143.
It's unbelievable. No,
for Tottenham.
For Tottenham, but I think you got over 300 goals all up in First League.
Yeah.
Mate, I want to ask you, first of all, your bicycle against Man U. I think it was against Man U.
Yeah.
Correct? Walk us through that goal.
So Benoit got it on a halfway line. A lot of time, because we had good players, we could play. That's what I'm saying about the Tottenham team. We could mix it up. Sometimes we've got Crouchy, we can go long, go direct, and we just play off Crouchy. Or sometimes we bring it down on his chest. Or sometimes we just play through midfield. So teams didn't know what we were going to do. But I always knew when the ball goes up to Crouchy, I have to make sure I'm in a position where he can just head it down to me.
Yeah, okay.
So as the ball was travelling, Rio Ferdinand was like here, but Rio's like he's looking, obviously the ball's gone over to Crouchy on the back post. Rio's looking at the ball and he's looking at me. Like good defenders, they'll do both. So what I done was I sort of like, he probably thought I was going to run across him, but then I just delayed my movement and I just stopped. And then and then Rio's gone this way, looking back, and I was sort of near the penalty spot. Yeah. And then as he headed it down, I just saw it come behind me, and I thought, you're a kid on the park. You practice scissors kicks, bicycle kicks. Yeah. I thought I have to do it. You just improvise.
Yeah, of course.
However the chance comes, you try and take it. So as I've gone like this, I made contact. I knew I made good contact, but then because I made contact, and when I landed, I didn't see it go in.
Oh, okay.
So when I landed, I see the fans behind the goal just jump up.
No way.
Yeah, so I didn't even. I just felt it. Felt the contact. Yeah. And I landed. I turned around like that, and I see all the fans just go like that. And then I looked and I saw the ball in the net, and I just remember I just run off, and it was like 40 something seconds I think it was into the game. It was so quick.
Far out, and it really underpins. One of your greatest assets is just make it happen. Don't think about.
Don't think
of all these things you've got to do. I've got to hit. I got to hit my laces, or I got to hit it. On the outside of my boot, or I need an extra tap. Just make it happen.
Proactive. Like just like the chances there, bang, take it.
Yeah, it's I mean,
because you notice the difference though. Like when you've had an injury and you come back from injury and you're probably not at the level of the sharpness yet. Of course, it takes up pre-season. Pre-season before the season starts,
you feel so uncoached.
Yeah, so you think, mate, in 3 months' time, I'm not taking an extra touch there.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like touch, bang. You just do it. Whereas when you're thinking too much, you take a touch and you might try and do something clever. Yeah. And then the whole picture's gone. Then.
Yeah, I think again, totally different levels. But I think back when I was a striker. The times I didn't score a goal was when I was thinking you need to put it in the top corner or you need to hit with this part of your boot. When the times when I would score would be just make it happen. Don't think about how it happens.
Yeah.
Now, also your goal against Aston Villa. Walk us through that.
Which one?
I think you beat. I'm pretty sure it was Aston Villa. I could be wrong, but it's you beat like 4 or 5 people. And then
the West Ham on a halfway line, the West Ham one.
West Ham.
Apologies. And I came back inside and then someone hit. I don't know, was it Carl Walker that just smashed it down the line? Worst pass ever. and then I remember just like the ball coming to me, it was like near the touchline, and then I sort of like as I controlled it, I sort of like just turned, and there was like 2 defenders close to me. But because I did so much like work in the gym in terms of like being explosive and like when people were close to me, I could just push them off. Okay. So as they got close to me, I sort of like I always used to use my arms. As I've turned, I've just like made the contact. But when you could sort of like ride challenges from the stuff that you've done in the gym, I sort of like made the impact in that, and I managed to get through. So as I got through, I remember just driving with it. And I thought if someone comes close to me, all I need is a yard. But I want someone I want to commit someone. Yeah. Because as soon as I commit someone, as soon as I get that yard, then bang, I'm just gonna hit it. Yeah. Okay. And I remember it was Noble. As he's coming, he should have got closer, to be fair. He allowed me to come back inside. Okay. And as I've come back inside and the goal's there, I just thought, right, bang. Yeah. And then as soon as you hit it, you're like, oh, you know in your head when you've hit the ball clean. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Far out. I just watching some of your goals, like just the ability, again, I keep reiterating, but it's to make it happen.
Just make it happen and that. But like, yeah, man, it was just amazing memories.
Special stuff. Now, look, there were some allegations in the documentary from Crouch saying that you stole many goals of him. Is that correct or not correct?
He stole one of me. He stole one of me at Everton away. I took the goalkeeper, Tim Howard, I think it was. If there's VAR now, I'd have 163. Same as Robbie Fowler, not 162.
So he stole your
he stole one of my goals. I'd have been 9th, not 10th in the Premier League list.
Oh, far out. Mate, I've mixed it up a little bit, but I just wanted to ask you, the year that, is it Walcott? Is that how you say it?
Phil Walcott, yeah.
Yeah, he got selected for England as essentially relatively unknown, at least to my understanding.
But he didn't play a game. He didn't play a Premier League game.
So very unknown then, essentially.
Well, I don't think that'll ever happen now.
Yeah. And at the expense of yourself, who, even if you're your worst fan, where you're just like, nah, he's not my guy, you know you can score goals.
Exactly.
Which might, just watching the doco, but also obviously looking at your career, it's almost mind-blowing. It's like you've got this guaranteed goal scorer.
Yeah.
Even if you're sitting there saying, oh, he's all these other holes in his game. It's like, yeah, but if you need goals, just have him there.
Yeah, especially a tournament.
Especially
tournament football.
How are you feeling about that all and everything like that?
Yeah, I was devastated with that World Cup. Yeah, because some things you just don't understand. And I think if someone else would have gone ahead of me, that's had like an unbelievable season, and you think you hold your hands up, you'd be like, okay, then I think, you have to wait 4 years.
Yeah, okay.
But okay, the next one, or the Euros. But when I didn't go to that one, and then the list come out, it's like a 16-year-old that hadn't played, and obviously it's not his fault.
Yeah,
obviously for him it's amazing, his family, but like a 16-year-old that hadn't played in the Premier League, and you've played like, don't know how many games, probably scored nearly 50 Premier League goals. So it was just like, honestly, it was the hardest thing. The only thing that got me through that summer was all the England fans saying Jermain should be there. Like, how is he not in the squad for this World Cup?
Because like, I'm with you in the sense that like, if it made sense, you can, as an athlete, you can kind of get your head around it. You go, okay, like I don't agree with it, but there's like a reasonable thought process going on here.
Yeah.
What's weird about that one is like, what's the thought process? Like, what was
even now? Yeah, I mean, Sven, God rest his soul on that, but I don't know. I didn't really have the opportunity to speak to him about it.
Yeah, okay.
I wish I did, to be honest, but like any human beings, people make mistakes. Managers make mistakes. I can imagine there's loads of managers that have made decisions over the years, and they probably thought, oh, I don't know why I did that. In fact, I know. I've spoken to players and that have spoken to managers years later, and the manager's like, you know what, you see what I did there? I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, okay.
Or I should have kept you at the club an extra year, or I don't know. I feel like maybe he was I don't know why. It's just strange because he didn't even play.
Yeah, that's
he didn't even play.
To develop him,
it's the World Cup. It's not like a joke. It's not pre-season tour.
Yeah,
that's like there's no like. It's not like. Do you know what I mean? It's the World Cup pinnacle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's strange.
Mate, we're all done. I know you've got to get out here. I could speak so much longer, man. What an incredible career. It's been an absolute buzz for me. Like, can't express that enough, and thank you for your time, bro.
Thank you, no problem.
Boom. And make sure to get down August 1st, Chelsea versus Tottenham Spurs. Like, just incredible. Make sure to get down. Boom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bro. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the first time it's ever happened. Chelsea v Tottenham Hotspur in Australia. It's the first time the derby has been taken out of England and to Australia. And it is August 1st, 2026 next year. On top of all that, tickets go live on Friday. When I say these will go quick, guys, they will go so quick. So make sure to get your tickets on Friday. We are so grateful for this opportunity to be able to speak to essentially a legend of the game. And that's all due to the fact that Chelsea versus Tottenham are coming out August 1st next year. It's 4 games as well. So basically, this is the schedule. Chelsea FC versus Western Sydney Wanderers. That's the Tuesday, 28th of July, Accor Stadium. Then it's Tottenham Hotspur versus Sydney FC, Wednesday, 29th of July, Allianz Stadium. And the match 3 is Chelsea FC versus Tottenham Hotspur, Saturday, 1st of August, Accor Stadium. And then match 4 is Chelsea FC Women versus A-League All-Stars Women, Wednesday, the 12th of August, Allianz Stadium. They also have open training, Tottenham Hotspur, Friday, 31 July, Allianz Stadium. Corporate events, the London Derby Lunch, Friday, 31 of July, Dalton House. Open training, Chelsea FC and A-League All-Stars Women, Tuesday, 11th August, Allianz Stadium. Corporate event, the All-Star Lunch, Tuesday, 11th August, Dalton House. And then open training, Chelsea FC to be determined. Like, guys, seriously, get your tickets Friday.